I think that was very clear in one of the. So I would recommend that you. I mean, the Goa beaches have a lot to say for themselves, and I would commend those also, even though I've not had a chance to go there. But certainly the exhibition space, and it's on today and tomorrow, the exhibition. So please go there. I think also where I was very interested, Goa has become a kerosene-free state. I want to congratulate the government of Goa that they've got mukti from kerosene use. There are other states also which have, become kerosene-free sometime earlier. And all I would say is that I already covered this. I said the world's first green hydrogen fuel cell was the. I also said, I think you guys are not paying attention. It's one thing to unveil it in Delhi, another thing before the world as an entrepreneur. So that's all covered. So anything else, I'll take one or two questions, and then I think you all have a lot of work to do. I know my secretary has other meetings to attend to also. Bataiye?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please identify yourself and.
Mike.
Anji? नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं. It was never. First of all, Prime Minister spent a considerable amount of time there. He had a photograph of the divers also, which I recall. And I think in his conversation with the chairman ONGC, where I was present, he was also asking about the rate at which we will be able to train people from different agencies. So the idea is certainly not to just confine it to ONGC. Look, ONGC is correct, but at any given point of time, my understanding is we have about 10,000 people on any day working offshore. So this will give them both a sense of confidence, it will give them the necessary training so that, God forbid, if something were to happen, and it's a world-class facility, but other agencies involved in different kinds of security operations can also be trained here. No, I think you don't need to have knowledge of rocket science to know what it will look like. When we started in 2014, we were almost absent on the transition map. I think that would be a fair characterization. Our biofuels blending was only 1.5% or less. Therefore, the Prime Minister set very ambitious targets, 10% blending by November 22 and 20% blending by 2030. We were able to do the 10% blending target, meet it 5 months in advance. And therefore, that gave us the confidence for us to say that we'll bring the 20% blending target 5 years in advance to 2025. Today we are at 12%, and I'm reasonably confident we can meet the 25%. But there are 2 or 3 things happening here which you should also take note of. He also announced, I think it was on 15th August 2021, am I correct on that result, 15th August 2021, that we would be taking up green hydrogen in mission mode. What does mission mode mean? A lot of people came to me, Pradhan Mantri ji ne kaha, aapne kuch kiya nahi. Well, you have to wait. We had 2 things which are important. One was a cabinet decision that the green hydrogen doesn't belong to any one part of the government. A lot of ministries in the government are dealing with green hydrogen. Ministry of Steel, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Civil Aviation. So we had a cabinet decision which clearly delineates the 6 centers of dealing with green hydrogen and a coordinating committee under the chairmanship of the Cabinet Secretary of India. That's one. Second, we introduced electrolyzer manufacture under the PLI scheme, productivity linked indexing. These two decisions, and then I've been taking I would like to do it monthly, but we don't able to. Certainly once every 2-3 months, I do a review meeting on green hydrogen. Suddenly the green hydrogen scene has taken off. Today somebody asked me in an interview, India's target of 5 million metric tons per annum of green hydrogen by 2030. I said it's too conservative. Let me give you a simple reason. BPCL has a electrolyzer, alkaline electrolyzers on display. I would like to think that he can make many of these to scale, etc. And we've already demonstrated that we can bring down the cost of clean solar energy from 25 cents a unit to 3 cents. If you can have both these things together, you can make as much of green hydrogen as you like. Many of our companies using a particular kind of technology where they take the water to a height of 3,000 feet or so, pump storage, drop it from there, they produce clean, green energy, and they make green hydrogen. Now, the gas does not lend itself for travel. So, by definition, green hydrogen will succeed where you have local demand, where you have local production, and where you will have local consumption. That's a recipe. But today, if you have the electrolyzer, and apart from the one I saw here, every conceivable electrolyzer manufacturer in the world is today in India, either on his own or in collaboration with Indian companies. That's why green hydrogen suddenly. Because you asked for a roadmap. I said the roadmap is evolving in front of us. Electric vehicles are coming. The next generation will not be electric and petrol. There will be electric and hydrogen. No, electric and ethanol. The second, let me tell you, it's very important. We are talking about 20% biofuel mix. Why? Because we were told, and our minds were wired to believe, that if you have 20% biofuel blending, you won't need to change any parts in the automobile. But the IOCL has chosen 4 states and has decided to set up 400 dispensing points which will be only dispensing ethanol. No blend. Prime Minister said, last year I came to India Energy Week, I made an announcement that we will be starting E20 in April. And the Prime Minister said, today E20 is being dispensed at 9,700 petrol stations. So if you got 10, 20,000 petrol stations selling E20, if you got your 400s will become operative hopefully soon, selling pure ethanol. And then let me come back to this. Today, one of the stalls I went to was what the Prime Minister also saw, a cooking stove utilizing ethanol. What you do is you go to an ethanol dispenser, you put a bottle there, get the ethanol into the bottle, then you have a cooking stove, you put it on there. Prime Minister was very interested in knowing how we can utilize this through the long areas. So, when you have the elected head of a government going into such details, these programs are, I want to share with you something that one of the participants in the PM's CEO's roundtable said. He said all governments make policies, few of them implement them, but very few not only formulate policies, implement them, but implement them to success in such a short period of time. So the Indian biofuel story, I'm not talking about just Biofuels Alliance, but see what is happening. You are now talking about ethanol there, you are having green hydrogen buses. There is no other country in the world which has a green hydrogen, first in the world green hydrogen fuel cell bus. But that's how it starts. It's a collaboration between an Indian private sector company and one of our OMCs. And it is now going to be available in 2 places, Delhi, 15 of them will be there. Then on that route, Kevadia, 2 of them will be there. But that's how it catches on. If you look at all the other stuff I saw, I told you about sustainable aviation fuel. If the European Union goes ahead and mandates 5% sustainable aviation fuel, you can be very sure that that will get a big boost because you have to make it somewhere. If you see all the other, I mean, I can't go into the details of all the exhibits. I would suggest you go there. But it's very impressive and very reassuring.
Anyone else?
Thank you very much. No, listen, I was not aware of this prototype, frankly. I knew about it in one of my earlier things, but I saw it for the first time. Today, different technologies, electrolyzers are being produced in India. And it's a question of, all of them seeing the light of day. You have a collaboration, I think, with two private sector players, and they have the, all the wherewithal there also. I know other electrolyzer manufacturers. I go around the world whenever I talk to them. All of them have an interest in the Indian market. But they have an interest in the Indian market specifically because, as I said, green hydrogen lends itself to success in India. So obviously they want to be present here.
So one last question for you. Yes, please. Gentlemen.
Not here from and for. So, how do you see the transition to the hydrogen cell in the Indian transport sector in terms of cutting your carbon emissions? How quickly would the government want to expedite the transition to a better fuel?
See, if you ask me the question on how quickly we will make the overall transition, I can give you an answer with which I am reasonably confident. I am reasonably confident means I think what we are saying we can deliver. So 20% biofuel blending by 2025 and I am reasonably confident. Increasing the CBG number of plants, I am reasonably confident. If you talk about transitioning to green hydrogen, I can tell you that 2030 target is an underestimation. When it was formed, a lot of people said, "ये कैसे होगा?" अरे मैं बता, today they are telling me कि नहीं ये हो जाएगा और जल्दी होगा. मैं बताता हूँ क्यों होगा. Because today new players are coming into the market. There are a lot of foreign investment coming into India. And green hydrogen, whether the green ammonia will be used in India or exported, will depend up to a point on market forces. You can't. But we have to, at some stage, mandate it. Why do I talk about sustainable aviation fuel mandate by Europe being important? Because once the mandate comes, then the pressure to produce the resource also will increase. Today somebody asked me, "Aap mandate kyun nahi kar dete hain green hydrogen?" So I have a good laugh at them. I said, mandate kar do aur baad mein bana na pao, ya uski date jo hai misalign ho, then you are in trouble. But I think the very fact that even on sustainable aviation fuel, today we are talking in terms of 1%, 2%, no 1%, 3% and 5%, starting 27 or something, which means our minds are now cued. With green hydrogen, I think the time is coming, but I will not be able to say it till I see that collaboration that you have, the collaboration with other people have, that prototype that you made. I mean, you have so much interest in it. I think you should now start commercially looking at these things. And I can tell you, you would be doing not only the Indian market a great favor, but even global. You can do. I went once to a West European country. I saw a huge facility, but it's so frightfully expensive that, when they said that they wanted to deal with Indian companies, I said, well, I can understand why they want to deal with. But to me, the Indian experience is one of a kind because it shows that at low cost, using your own technology, you can do things which otherwise were unimaginable. one of our private sector companies, I told you last time, also had a statement made in the PM's roundtable that he has set up 1,000 plants in 100 countries. Thank you very much. Thank you. चलिए पूछ लो if you want a photo with the media.
I think we can have a joint photograph with the media.
That is those of you in the media who want a photograph. I don't want to force a photograph. So please come. Let's have a photograph. Come. Where is my stormtrooper? आओ फोटोग्राफ के लिए
इतना लोग हो जाएंगे कि हमें अंदर ही जाना है। बहुत बड़ा होने वाला है। सर आगे नहीं
भाई आप भी तो आइए, सेफ्टी